guys, it's me, Meteor, and welcome to another edition of What is Kirby Canon? Today we're talking about Nightmare and Kirby. Regarding the games, Nightmare made his first and only appearance in Kirby's Adventure. This game starts off where Kirby wakes up and then realizes he didn't dream at all. In fact, all the dreams seem to have been gone. So he headed to the Fountain of Dreams and found King Dedede bathing in the waters. And considering he just stole all the food recently, it makes sense that he would think that he's the culprit all along. You see, King Dedede took the Star Rod and broke it into 6 pieces. The Star Rod is the source of power and the source of dreams in all of Dreamland, and he gave them to all 6 of his friends. One of his friends though didn't look like he was trying to kill Kirby, but rather test him, train him, see what he was capable of before giving him the last piece he needed to reassemble the Star Rod. This, of course, was Meta Knight. It makes you wonder why one of King Dedede's friends would try to help Kirby all along to begin with. Well, as it turns out, King Dedede was not the true culprit here. King Dedede broke the Star Rod into 6 pieces because he was trying to prevent a bigger threat from emerging. This threat is known as Nightmare. People consider this one of the examples that would have been better off if Kirby hadn't intervened. But that's not true. Think about what would happen if Kirby hadn't intervened. Dreamland would still be without dreams, and its source of power would still be gone. It's the equivalent of putting a blanket over a gaping hole. It doesn't fix the problem, it just hides it. Either way, once Nightmare emerges, Kirby grabs the Star Rod, and King Dedede shoots him up in the air to fight him for real in his ball form. After a while, Nightmare flees, and Kirby grabs the Warp Star to give chase, and fight Nightmare head on in his real form. Long story short, Kirby defeats Nightmare, brings peace back to Dreamland, and prevents him from creating nightmares throughout all of Dreamland ever again. Of course, if that was all I had to talk about regarding Nightmare, this would be a very short episode, but it's not. You see, Nightmare did make another appearance in the anime, and people constantly wonder if the anime is canon, some claiming it is. Well, let's take a look at the facts. I uploaded a video once where I took 5 minutes to explain the simple fact of, if it makes sense to canon, consider it canon. If it contradicts canon, don't consider it canon. And I kind of removed that from the playlist because it was completely pointless, but regardless, we'll be using that same principle here. Let's start off by taking a look at Kirby's origins. In the anime, Kirby crash landed in his spaceship on Dreamland, and his source of power was actually the Warp Stars. Let's contrast that to the games, where Kirby actually flew into Dreamland on a spring breeze, from Dreamland, and his source of power was not the Warp Stars. Warp Stars are just a way of travel. His source of power is, well, the fact he's freaking Kirby. Another key difference is Kirby's age. In the anime, Kirby is a baby who can't even really talk. Some people say, well, Kirby doesn't talk in the games either, so therefore Kirby must be a baby. Huh, that's a good point. Except when you consider that Link and Red also don't talk. That isn't even really true to begin with anyway. Looking back at even the Dreamland 1 instruction booklet, it shows Kirby saying a quote here, and it refers to Kirby as a boy. Never mind the fact he aged far much since then. And who could forget this awesome quote from Epic Yarn? It feels like pants. And then there's the whole issue of Star Warriors. Apparently from the anime, Kirby and Meta Knight are both from a race called Star Warriors who were trying to defeat Nightmare before in the Great War. If any of this were true, it would seem odd that even the remake that takes inspiration from the anime would not mention either the Great War or the Star Warriors if it were actually canon. Regarding Cappy Town, the place Kirby stayed at in the anime, it is anime exclusive according to the 20th Anniversary Encyclopedia, therefore does not exist in the games. In the anime, Dedede teams up with Nightmare to make monsters to defeat Kirby with. In the games, Dedede just tries to prevent Nightmare from corrupting the Star Rod entirely and breaks it in pieces. In the anime, Kirby gets the Star Rod by inhaling a Warp Star. In the games, he gets it from the Fountain of Dreams. I can go further, but the main point is that the anime should not be accepted as canon, and rather just something fun like a reimagining of Kirby's adventure in general. I mean, the similarities to adventure are there. Meta Knight trains Kirby, King Dedede doesn't really trust Kirby, Kirby defeats Nightmare using the Star Rod, but that's pretty much where the similarities end. That being said, the games did draw a lot of influence from the anime itself. For example, Meta Knight uses the sword Galaxia, King Dedede is shown more prominently with Waddle Dees as his army, and a lot of the bosses were updated with the anime's appearances. And yeah, we may see a big reference thrown in here and there, but it doesn't have any more basis for canon than, say, putting Majora's Mask in Link Between Worlds. To sum things up, while the anime may not be canon, it did help change the series of Kirby for the better, and if you want to believe Kirby is one of the Star Warriors, that's fine. There's no evidence that disproves that, I guess. But I guess that's all I want to talk about today, so I'll see you guys next time.